Art Nouveau seems to have variations on variations, no matter where you look. So, let's learn about it. Art Nouveau started around the 1890s, mainly in Belgium and France, and spread across Europe and even the United States during what was called the Belle Époque period. It lasted roughly from about 1910 to 1914, before slowly being replaced by styles like Art Deco and Modernism. The name itself literally means new art, and that's kind of the whole point. It was a movement trying to break away from older 19th century styles that were obsessed with copying their own historical architecture. And what makes it really recognizable is its design language. It's defined by these long, flowing, organic lines. Almost everything in it looks like it's moving, like it's growing, like it's alive. And in the style, you'll see curved shape language, twisting lines, flow patterns, vines, leaves, insects. It's an architectural style that didn't shy away from using metal, but it didn't feel rigid like brutalism. A really big idea behind Art Nouveau was this concept of a total work of art, or Gesamtkunstwerk, which basically means the building isn't just the building. Everything is used as part of the design. The walls, the furniture, the windows, the stairs, even the door handles are all designed in the same visual language, so nothing is isolated. So instead of decoration being added on top of a structure, the structure is the decoration. And a lot of it also comes from this push against industrial repetition and old academic styles. Designers seem to want something more expressive, more emotional, less rigid, as I was saying. But interestingly, they didn't reject more modern materials. Materials like iron, glass, steel, ceramics, and brick were all heavily used. Iron especially became important because it allowed these thin, curved, almost plant-esque structures to be made while still retaining usability. That would be quite difficult to accomplish well in older stone architecture. So, you end up with buildings where columns look like vines, windows feel like openings to almost like a living organism, and staircases, rails twist like branches. Some of the earliest examples came from Brussels, especially architects like Victor Horta and Paul Hengard. One of the most famous buildings is the Hotel Tassel. In Paris, Hector Grimaud designs the famous Paris metro entrances, featuring those flowing iron sculptures I was talking about. In Barcelona, Antoni Gaudí takes the style even further, turning these buildings almost surreal with their choice of color and their sparse use of straight lines. And then in the United States, it's even become associated with glasswork and lighting, especially through Louis Comfort Tiffany, who you'd probably know from Tiffany Co. All over the world, there are styles similar to Art Nouveau that go by different names. Some include Jugendstil in Germany, Zetes en Stay in Austria, Modernismo in Spain, Style Liberty in Italy, and I believe an older version named Modern Style in England. But even with different names, the core idea stays the same. Nature-inspired designs, flowing structures, intricate embellishments, no strict separation between art and function. Now take a good long look at what I'm about to show you. It'll be important in a second. This is the Wedding Tower in Darmstadt Artist Colony. It was completed in 1908 by Joseph Maria Albridge, and it was commissioned by Grand Duke Ernest Ludwig to commemorate his second marriage to the Princess Eleanor. The tower is about 48 to 50 meters tall and is built with plastered white stone and dark red bricks. Now this is my rendition of it in Minecraft. Obviously some of the proportions are off, but I really enjoyed working with it, especially with the dark colors of the blues and the kind of greenish tones I could get out of it, and trying to translate organic shapes from the round, like, arch-like things in the very top into Minecraft's more blocky thing was very interesting, and I think that, like, detailing like this can be very fun, and just in general, translating more fluid shapes, especially from the Art Nouveau period, into Minecraft can be kind of difficult, but it's a fun technical challenge. Now, something interesting is how short-lived the style actually was. By around 1910, it was already starting to fall out of fashion. People began seeing it as overly decorative or expensive to maintain. So it got replaced by Art Deco, which leaned more into geometric, structured, or clean designs. But even though Art Nouveau disappeared as a dominant style, it never really went away. It comes back later in the 1960s in things like the psychedelic movement, with posters, music, art, and fashion. Those flowing lines and organic shapes get reused again, just in a different cultural context. And honestly, I think that's what kind of makes it interesting, because even though it only lasted a couple decades, it influenced culture way beyond its time.